Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special YouTube exclusive edition of a Develop blog update. I'm Michael St. Gregory, host for SceneGrinder Live. Thanks for everyone who joined us on the Twitch Live last time. Of course, I'm with Ron and Jerry of SceneGrinder, and we're going to be talking about the one word that keeps popping up all the time, beta. So, we are going to be talking about the beta. We're going to be talking about what you guys have been doing since the previous stream, and what are we going to be expecting in the future. So first off, tell us about some of the things that have happened since the Kickstarter ended.
Lots.
Wait, I'm experiencing some extreme deja vu.
Yeah, I know. It's like we did this before.
And by the way, just in case anybody is listening and wondering what that crashing sound is, for dramatic effect, we're doing this in the middle of a thunderstorm. So,
and there will be discussion about sound effects, so stay tuned.
Yes.
There we
go. No, I just a whole bunch of things. One of the things is models.
Yes.
Jim, he's our archaeologist, and he's pulled in about 200 models already. He's continuing to get more and more. He's kind of focused on modern and steampunk models, so we got a whole bunch of those. Lots of cool buildings and scenery things. And then he's also been working on walls too, so different wall types. So he's got some cool metal walls for space adventures. Still no sliding doors. No, that'll be there eventually, but no sliding doors yet. And kind of another big thing is optimizing the models. Because one of the things is you got all these models and they look like spectacular, but they're made to be looking spectacular on an 80-inch TV, which we don't need for SceneGrinder. That's just wasted. So
or a AAA game.
Yeah, AAA game. Yeah. So what we're doing is we're taking to the models and we're compressing them, making them smaller and stuff. You can't tell a difference if you're playing SceneGrinder, but we'll get the model sizes to go from like 70 megs down to 2, which means when you're playing, everything loads much faster, everything just runs much smoother. So model optimization is a huge project for us. It takes a little bit of time, and we'll be doing that all throughout the beta. But that's one of the big things we've been working on last couple months. Jerry, you want to?
Well, one thing he's found and put together and he's working on is an interlocking cave system, which we're very excited about. With lots of cool varying cave corridors and stuff like that you can stitch together and create an interesting cave system. We have other ways of doing that too. So this is just one of the ways we're exploring this. So kudos to Jim on that one. So yeah.
Yep.
And within, that's basically like having a building block toy and just connecting one piece to another to make this trail.
Yeah, and
I love
just
that.
One thing to keep in mind, a cool thing with SceneGrinder is any model that you've got, you can resize it, you can reshape it, make it bigger, smaller, stretch it, make it wider.
So it's either an interlocking cave system or an interlocking gopher hole trail.
Yeah.
Either way you want to do it. So.
Don't spoil my gopher one shot. Oh, man. I gotta get back to the drawing board on that one. It was all Caddyshack references anyway, so it wouldn't matter.
Butterscotch.
Just as a follow-up, because this was something I forgot to ask on the stream. Now, while these are browser-based and people are going to be sharing it from either remote positions, casting it, though, onto your TV is still pretty, optimal for if you're having your group game and you want to all play it together too, if using iPads or phones. So the fact that it won't lag on really any monitor that you're putting it on really helps with streamlining the game and making sure that the quality isn't chopped up to bits so you can run a game, which is such a juggling act for quality versus speed.
Yeah. We have one test group that actually do that trick, but they put it on a tabletop monitor and use it as if it was a traditional tabletop, which is interesting. So
yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
So,
what's your favorite model, by the way? I didn't know if you had one that
we've got this steampunk airship.
Oh yeah,
kind
the
of thing
airship.
everyone loves an airship. I love an airship. I'm running an adventure right now that's on an airship.
We've actually modified it a little bit in such a way as that you can put your characters on the ship itself and stuff like that.
Very cool.
And that's going to tie into some future updates we have where all of your characters will actually stay on the ship or the vehicle that they're standing on while the vehicle itself moves. So that's coming along. But so we're real excited about that one. There's some others though. Lots of dragons.
Yeah, lots of dragons.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some really cool character model figures that Jim's found that are really neat. I don't know.
Yeah,
Sharks. He's got this awesome cave entrance, which looks like a giant monster head swallowing
like a Cave of Wonders type ordeal.
Yep.
If you've been doing this for a couple of years, we're so inundated with fantasy models that now we're getting real excited about the non-fantasy genre, or the pirate, or the western, or something like that. So we do an ooh and ah whenever something comes along in that lane. So yeah.
I know for like playing open world RPGs for so long on video games, like one of the biggest things that I'm always like upset about is like, oh, I wish I could go into that building. Now I can literally build the building to put the people into.
Yep. Well, and also, some of the buildings that we get are designed to be viewed from the inside as well. So you can take that house model that we've got and, blow it up a little bit and just let the players walk inside, and then you can decorate the inside of it too.
Yeah.
Or they can destroy it because
can destroy
chaos
it,
goblins. Uninvited guest into your home is never, I have a toddler, so I already know that just in general.
There you
go. So models have been, excellent. I've seen, pictures of things that have been released on the Discord. All the update. By the way, if you haven't joined the Discord, please do. It is one of the major feedback points of SceneGrinder, and it is going to tie in so much with the upcoming beta. So one of the other things that we had spoken about on the live stream were the saved effects and triggers.
Yes. Yeah, you want to do that one?
Sure. It's one of my favorite topics these days. SceneGrinder will grant the GM the ability to create triggers, either on characters, NPCs, or the world itself. An example of a cool trigger on a character would be you're in this situation all the time. SceneGrinder has the ability to handle large battles, but you don't want to have to sit there and skip all over you got a dead person, and that gets tedious. Oh, that guy's already dead, so I'm going to go on to the next one. So what a trigger could potentially do, and we have examples of this, is, oh, this guy hit 0 hit points. Mark him as dead and knock him over. Great. And the avatar list is also smart enough to filter by that, so you don't have to your list that you're dealing with gets smaller and smaller as things go dead. You can always hit a button and see everything again if you so choose, but that's an example of what a character trigger can do. Scene triggers?
A scene trigger, the classic one would be you put a hidden trap in the hallway, and you got a trigger on there that if a character model goes on top of that trap, it automatically stops movement. Maybe an effect kicks in right away. Maybe even pop up to do an attack die roll or something like that.
Yeah. There's probably things out there that triggers and the resulting actions will do that we have no idea, that we're hoping our community discovers and entertains us in weird ways.
Yep.
So yeah.
I know that I'm notoriously paranoid as a player when I'm doing some sort of dungeon crawl, and I'm always asking, can I check for traps? Even if I do not have any sort of skill set to do so, because I'm always wondering, like, is this the point where I die? Like, so now, I feel like I know I'm going to have that moment where it's kind of like, I don't want to ask because I want to see it. I want to know, like, what the experience is like to get set up to fail like that.
Well, Jerry will back me up on this. I generally check for traps by running through the hallway and seeing if anything blows up.
Yep.
Hope for the best.
Generally,
touch all the things.
I die a few times, but
Well, I mean, it's the easiest way to find out if you just literally trigger everything.
Leroy Jenkins.
Have you so with these traps, you can attach sounds to them. I've heard that there is just basically all these things that can be done ahead of time, so that you as the GM can just let it happen.
Yep. Yep.
Sure. And we always want to grant the GM the ability to stop action and take over. But yes, and one of the actions a trigger can have attached to it is stop the action.
Yep.
Nobody moves. GM's notified, hey, there's something interesting happening over here. Go there, resolve it.
Yep.
Or the battle starts, or whatever you need to do at that point.
And like GM's be able to do things like have a trigger that resets all the scene settings. So it's nighttime, so we're going to turn the lights down. We're going to switch the music that's playing. Maybe we'll start up a thunderstorm like we got going here. So
I'll put like a rain cloud over your head in post, and like, man, the effects are amazing.
Well, a little like Jumanji practically. We'll see.
So with all of these effects, people are going to be wondering about available libraries.
Yes.
What can you tell us on that?
Not so much during beta, but increasing along through beta and towards the end of the beta period will be a growing list of effect libraries, pre-canned effects that are already attached to the spell that they make sense for, those kinds of things. We are not there right now at the start of beta,
right?
But we will be there very quickly. And once again, we're sort of curious what the beta community is going to come up with in this regard. Yeah. But yes, so it's same with sound libraries. We do. I know we talk about models, but we'll probably divert some of our Kickstarter funds to coming up with a rich sound library that we have full license to allow any of our players to use. Finding that can be a challenge, but we're working on it. So that's part of it as well.
So with this, talking about what you're going to be looking for and what you're expecting over the time frame, let's actually talk about said time frame and how this is going to work. What you initially had spoken about was that, well, as we're recording right now, it is towards the end of August. So starting from this point, what is the plan, so to speak?
Okay, so the plan is beta will officially start on the 31st. We might get a couple people in early that are going to work on game systems. We're reaching out to those over the next, 31st is only a week away. So,
yes, as we're recording this, it is August 25th.
yes. So, less than a week. So anyway, so the way we're going to do it is first off, it's really kind of a late alpha / early beta. So we just want to make sure we're setting that expectations. There's a lot of functionality that we've got there. There's a lot that we're adding. So that's going to mean there's, some stability things. If you are comfortable occasionally refreshing the screen when you're playing the game, then absolutely, join us in the beta. We've been using SceneGrinder, like I said, for 1.5 2 years now. We've never lost game data. So that's not really, it's a concern for us to make sure that never happens. But as,
the caveat is this software might light your cat on fire, drop your transmission, or cause problems with your significant other.
But we won't lose the game data.
We won't lose game data. So
I'm curious about those other side effects that you spoke of, but we'll see.
Yeah, so we'll see. It is beta.
We'll put a disclaimer: will not light your cat on fire.
But so what we're going to do is the first few days we just want to make sure that the intro we've got set up makes sense for everybody. Make sure there's nothing unusual with people trying to get going. So the first few days, at least, we're going to do it just a handful of people. We'll have a sign up out there where you can sign up for the specific day that you want to start joining. And then we'll just do video sessions on Discord with those groups. And we'll basically walk them through getting their account activated and getting going and showing them, how to make scenes. For the first couple of weeks, we anticipate getting all of the backers, getting their accounts activated. We're not going to let player accounts get activated until probably at least for a couple weeks, just to make sure everything is good. Because for one, it's not like you can just sit down and play. You've got to build your scenes and do your prep work as a GM.
They also have to be taught how to use it.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
it's not going to be one of those things where it's like, I've seen other products where they go, hey, here it is. Tell us how it works out.
Yep.
Yeah, because
Now,
role-playing games are it's the most complicated hobby you can possibly have.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of a more complicated hobby, and SceneGrinder can handle any game system. So that's a big ask, and that with
Yes.
that flexibility comes what is it? With great flexibility comes great responsibility. But that there's a
I don't want to get sued for that one by any particular mouse that happens to be watching.
exactly. So, but there is that aspect of it. So we're going to test whether we made good assumptions, big caveat is if we come to a blocker that goes, "Wow, what were we thinking?" We're going to stop the show for a bit. We're going to respond to that quickly, and then we're going to get things moving again. So we reserve the right to do that if necessary.
Yeah. Now, before the 31st, we are going to post a link for everybody to go ahead and create your accounts. And so basically that'll just be inactive accounts initially. And then, as you do your session, we'll activate it. And that also goes for your players too. So your players they won't be able to do anything yet, but they can get their accounts created so that when we do have the ability for you to invite the players, they can just, activate their accounts and go.
And where will that link be available?
Discord, Facebook.
We'll probably put it on the website itself.
The website itself too.
So,
Yes.
Yeah.
So keep your eyes on SceneGrinder.com, and also if you haven't already joined the Discord, please do, and you can get that info of when you can sign up to be an ambassador of sorts, or I can't remember the fancy word we used during the stream.
Wait. Ombudsman.
Yes,
Ombudsman, yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. Well,
that wonderful 60s folk band.
Sure. And just to drill down into that, we've already had several people offering to shepherd their favorite game system.
Yes.
Because the other lesson we've learned is, there's not just a few hundred games out there. There are thousands of role-playing games. We were naive about that 2 years ago, or something happened in 2 years. I don't know, but there's a lot of people have their banners for their favorite game system, and they're pushing for that and ask them. So what we're going to do in those cases is, okay, great, you're the ambassador for this game system, if you so choose, and you help us make that a reality. So that then we'll work with you. That gets into the legal side of the thing, which I called out during the live stream, but I just want to point out our policy on this is if a role-playing game has the equivalent of an OGL or open gaming license type scenario, or SRD, where it clearly states that content can be used in a virtual tabletop, then SceneGrinder is going to pick that up and run with it, like D&D 5th edition, for instance. However, even in D&D 5th edition and with other role-playing games, there is content that does not fall into that license category. All right, that we can't do that. But our community is welcome to do that. So that is it will help that community with technical answers, how best to structure things and stuff like that. But we need to be careful about the intellectual property of all these games that we love. So that's where we're going on.
And kind of just one more boring legal thing. We are working with a law firm that their business is IP management for games. So they really know their stuff. And
the law firm's name is Odin, by
yes.
the way. Odin Law. I mean, what a great name for a law firm.
I mean,
for
that is
my God, shout out to Odin. But yeah,
that's if their slogan isn't "We are the law father," then they need sign me up. I'll help you out.
Yeah.
I can get some slogans like that, man.
But anyway, so they're working on it's legalese a little bit, but some language on it, but basically the legal stuff to protect everybody, just to make sure that nobody gets in trouble, because what's going to happen is the community person's going to do the customization, and then they're going to share it, and the person that they share it to will have to check some kind of box and say, I understand what's in there, and yes, I've got rights to do it, and that way everybody's protected. Nobody has to worry about anything happening. So.
And this also brought up the outreach to independent game developers and the availability that you will be having as a team to them for you to both be sought or to be recommended to.
Yep.
And that is something that is actively going on?
Yes. Absolutely. We did not anticipate this in the beginning, but we apparently are the banner for independent game developers to build their thing, their game system or their world. And we love that. That is not something that we thought we're going to be doing, but it's there. We got a lot of great creative people on there with their own game system, or maybe it's just, it's out there in the world, but it's not as popular as the big ones and stuff like that. And we are just as friendly and just as capable of dealing with those kinds of systems as we are Dungeons and Dragons. And we love that. The truth of the matter is D&D is only about 50% of the market, plus or minus 5% here or there. But there's that other half of the world that needs some TLC. So we're proud to be that, to give that place give those guys a home.
And just a note to any game developers that are out there. If you want to work with us to create a really awesome integration for your game, but obviously, you still want to get paid for it. We do have the concept of premium content. So, if you want to sell your integration or have a charge for your integration, or maybe modules for your integration, we'll definitely work with you on that.
So all avenues are open in terms of developers working with you and you working with developers. So we've emphasized the community aspect of it, which is such a integral part of this product. We can't talk about the Discord enough because it really is the cornerstone of how you are getting your feedback. And I have watched it. I have seen the active conversations. There have always been, there are regulars who are so invested in the very idea of this that they want to know. And that transparency is fantastic. And with the signups that will become available for people to be testing, the things that, you were speaking about looking for are mainly going to be focusing on the tools of, what works, what doesn't work, suggestions, good, bad, all that kind of stuff, just running the gamut, using scenes, building systems, and then there will be a focus period on feedback.
Yeah, so when we get ready to start the beta, what we'll be doing is publishing a list of the stuff that's coming. And that stuff will be grouped into what we consider logical groups. Some of it's technical related, some of it's, just how we thought things went together. And also in roughly the order that we're planning to do things. Like I said, that will be published for the community so everybody can see what the plan is. We are absolutely open to feedback on that. If the community says, we've got to have sound on models really quickly, we can't wait to where it's at in the schedule, then, we'll probably adjust that and make that happen. Sometimes we won't be able to just because of technical reasons, but as much as we can, we'll work with the community on that. And then what we'll do is probably every week or every 2 weeks, we'll have a focus area on a specific thing. Like, the focus area initially is going to be the initial login process and how that worked for everybody, and scene building. Those are the two obvious focus areas for the first 2 weeks. After that, it'll probably get into movement and a couple of other things. And, that's going to be, we'll play it by ear to see exactly how that goes based on how the beta is working, but that's the plan. And of course, we'll also have a system for reporting any issues that are out there. In addition to Discord, we're going to have some kind of forum functionality. We're still looking at a couple options for that, where you can. Discord is great for ad hoc conversations, but sometimes it's nice to have that forum approach where I can just search through the forum and say, hey, has anybody talked about, cyberpunk models? So
I would probably be doing that.
Yep. So,
all right. So with all of this being said, and we understand that a launch date, a general launch date, can't be obviously promised and specified at this point in time, but if you were to give an estimate in regards to how long this beta is going to run, what are you willing to tell us?
That's how I'm receding into the background here.
Hey, you wrote the question. I'm just asking it.
The bottom line is, when we did the Kickstarter, we made a commitment to everybody that if at all possible, we're going to give you access about 2 months after the Kickstarter ended, so you can start, playing your games with SceneGrinder. That was a really, really hard commitment by us. We really, that was, yeah, we needed to make that date because you backed us, and so now we needed to back you and return the favor. As far as the actually live, that really just depends. The backers are going to be in there playing their games, and when we decide to throw the switch and tell the rest of the world that okay, SceneGrinder is now officially live, it'll be when we feel it's ready. Maybe that's 3 months from now, like the original plan. Probably not. But we're not going to do that until we feel like SceneGrinder is really ready to release to everybody else.
And the way for it to be ready is through the feedback that our testers are going to be providing.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep.
So the more involved that you are, the better it's going to help streamline this process.
Absolutely.
Now, a question came through on Discord last night or night before after the live broadcast, where there was some confusion. If you're in our beta and if you're in our beta, that means you're a GM. You will be able to invite players to your game. They don't have to be a backer. They don't have to be a beta person in itself. So, just want to make that clarification. You're not limited to just the pool of people that are in our beta program when it comes to your players.
And we do have a late pledge option open still.
Yep.
So if you hear about this and you missed the Kickstarter, there is still a late pledge option out there, and we'll probably leave that out there until we're officially live.
Yeah.
Well, I know for a fact that I am very much looking forward to testing it, and so are a lot of the people at Worlds of Quest who are been foaming at the mouth looking at this and just waiting to dive in. So thank you so much for once again joining me and filling all of us in on what is going on with the future of SceneGrinder and the upcoming beta testing. Thank you to everybody who watched. We hope that you can catch the next live one. And, of course, join our Discord. Follow us online. Just search SceneGrinder. You can go to SceneGrinder.com. All of the links to everything should be available there. And of course, it's an easy Google search if you just look up. I'd be careful on how you spell certain things. Because you never know. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, it takes dungeon mastering to a different never mind. Anyway,
where are you going there, Michael?
Listen, I'm having a good time. I know you guys do too. So thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next time on the next SceneGrinder Live.
All right. Thanks, everybody.